Man, this is the gift that keeps on giving. Holy Christ. Welcome to another video of mine, ladies and gentlemen. If it's your first time here, make sure you subscribe. I've got videos and streams planned for the next few weeks. Those who have known me for a while, welcome back. Let's get straight into it. There's a Ben Solo movie that was meant to happen that didn't happen. I'm a bit pissed off. You can see it. So let's just get straight into it, okay? We know the sequel trilogy is a goddamn mess from start to finish. The whole thing is disjointed. It's a disjointed mess. It's like the connection of one's father with it's a mess, okay? But the one standout is Ben frickin' Solo, okay? You can look at the sequels and go, even though they were a mess, Kylo Ren, even Adam Driver's performance is the one constant from start to finish. I'm not going to get into the treatment of Finn because that was a freaking joke. I'm not going to get into the sidelining of Poe. That was also a joke. The inconsistency with Rey. Let's just focus on Ben Solo. He carries the whole trilogy on his back. The entire thing. Everything from the lightsaber over the shoulder, the Han Solo shrug, fighting like Anakin. Sick. The way Adam Driver portrays the conflicted nature in The Last Jedi with what he had to work with, the nuances in Force Awakens. It's all there. You had the minerals for something good. I remember watching The Rise of Skywalker in 2019 and being I'm talking pissed off that Ben was killed at the end. You call it The Rise of Skywalker and you kill off the last Skywalker. I get what you're going for symbolically, but it wasn't earned. You did it just to go, hey, you remember? Shucks, Mickey. You remember when Darth Vader redeemed himself? You remember? Do you remember? Just in case. Oh, did you remember? Did you remember? Hello, McFly. Like, it's giving that, okay? So I was pissed off. I was like, well, you've redeemed him and you just killed him. And what was the point? To anyone that says, oh, but he's redeemed him, he'll never redeem in the eyes of the galaxy. I don't freaking care what the galaxy has to say. It would have made it a great, fascinating character arc for him to deal with the consequences of his actions. I had it in mind that he was going to take a page out of Luke's book, and I did a video on this, that what would happen at the end of Rise of Skywalker, he'll say to Rey, I can't go back with you. Like, I'm a dead man, I can't. He goes to the island that Luke was staying on, and he goes into exile. He works on himself, and then time passes by, and he becomes like a wanderer, going around the galaxy, saving people, redeeming himself, atoning for his sins. Every single character in the sequels died for him. So now their sacrifice means nothing because he's dead. So immediately I was pissed off. I was like, you had something great here, and you fumbled it massively. So I came out the cinema being like, you better bring him back, because you don't get to introduce something that is as cool as a dyad in the Force, which again is just a rip-off of Revan and Bastila from Legends. But it's still cool, okay? You can argue, it's still cool. You introduce it and you kill off the other half. That's like yin without the yang. What are you doing? And then you have them kiss, and then you still kill them off. It's like, you come on, like, So I came out the cinema, right, thinking, this is a joke. Like, this is my biggest critique with this film. Not the fact that you pissed all over Anakin's legacy. You made Finn go, Rey, for the whole fucking film. Again, there's many problems. But killing off Ben Solo, at least with Finn, Rey, and Poe, you have a chance to redeem it in a future movie. Ben, you've killed him off. You've null and voided all of that. You've null and voided it all. And then they released a line in the novel where when he dies, he says, I'll always be with you, Rey, or something. I said, and I remember saying this years ago, I would be so down for an episode 10 that brings him back. You spend 3 movies with Kylo Ren, mostly because of the disjointed mess, and then you spend 3 movies with Ben Solo. Would have slapped. Did we get that? No. We don't get that. We get the acolyte, the power of one, the power of many. We get that. We get the Book of Boba Fett where we got some cyborg dude going, you're right, mate. Like he's some fucking East London, trader, right? You get that. And you get Boba Fett that has his balls snipped off. Ahsoka, it's okay. It's all right. Anakin stuff, cool. Some stuff in there. You know, Andor, really good show, probably the best out of the bunch. Amazing show, great story, unexpected but very welcomed. Bad Batch, solid show, but any episode that doesn't have Crosshair is boring as hell. Then you've got, I don't know if anyone heard that. I don't know what the hell that was. Then you've got, what's the other one? There's one more. The Acolyte. We don't talk about that. There's one more. There might be one more. I don't know. Comment it down below. It's nearly, it's midnight. But either way, it's been hit or miss for ages. I think we can all agree Ben Solo as a character has enough interest to bring people back on board. You can redeem your stories with Rey by giving Daisy Ridley more to work with. You give John Boyega a frickin' lightsaber, man. What? Come on. And then you bring... See, I had this idea, this crazy idea, that Rey and Ben were going to be the first two people to lead the Skywalker teachings, the Skywalker Academy, a third faction. And they would bleed their crystals to, like, white or something. I don't know. And Finn would be the first student in something new. And a way of Ben saying, look, I'm sorry, I nearly killed you, and I'm kissing your favorite girl. Like, I'm sorry. Like, let's train you. You're our first student. Boom. You have the evolution. You have something new. So when you go to episode 10, you have 3 potential factions. Sith, Jedi, Skywalker. You can do a lot with that. That aside, to know that there was a Ben Solo movie that was actually being considered and was actually in the works, there were scripts and things, and you said no? I genuinely want to ask a sincere question. Did anyone receive brain damage in this company around that time? Like, do you not like money? Do you not like success? Like, call me toxic, call me what you will. This is old school Jacob. I'm ranting here. What on earth is possessing you all to just think this is, nah, we're not going to do this. We're just going to fuck off over here. Yeah. I do want to put this out there, though. There is another layer to this onion. They might have put this out there so people like me come up on here, do videos and rant about it to gauge fan reaction and see if the demand is there. That has happened before with companies. They leak out these bits of info, or they release them as a way to gauge fan reaction to see what their next steps are going forward. But to know that Adam Driver called it one of the coolest scripts he's ever been a part of, and he's devastated that it's never going to come to light, I don't know how you could fumble so bad. I genuinely do not know how you had something so good right here, and you just said, we don't want this. We're going to Luke Skywalker this bitch out of here. Can someone please comment down below and just try and justify this decision? This is one of those decisions where I genuinely think if you just went down the hallway at the time when the MCU was popping off and just said, you know, just knock on the door. Hello. Hey, yo, Kevin, let me chat to you. Got a bit of advice. We've got this character that people really glom onto. Should we make it into a project? And he'll say, yeah. You'll go back to your office and go, you know what we need? We need the Acolyte. That's what we need. I'm sitting here trying to make sense of this whole thing. I genuinely, I don't know where to go anymore. Like, anything to do with, like, Ahsoka and Mandalorian, I've got sort of hopes for, but like this right here is the epitome of something that I think fans were crying out for, and you just either you didn't know or you just blatantly ignored it. But to not know means you have to be so tone deaf. Every cinema, there's one clip out there, right, where there's this, I guess you could call them a Raylo. I don't know. I don't do shipping, so it's not, you know, but Raylo was screaming at the end of the film, where the fuck is Ben? I was saying it internally. Where is he? Where is the geezer? You didn't even answer if he was a Force ghost or not. So you left the door open-ended on purpose in case you wanted to use it. And did you? Did you fuck? You bloody said, you know what? There's a door right there. We'll close it. And what we'll do is we'll put cement over it. And we'll just walk the other way. And we'll come back in like 6 or 7 years and we'll just release this article just to piss people off even more. I genuinely, I'm freaking lost. Like, I'm looking at the description and it's set after the rise of Skywalker. So it's post all of that crap. The Hunt for Ben Solo that's a great title. and a completed script that Lucasfilm loved, and Disney said no because they didn't see how Ben was alive. In the same franchise, you bring back Palpatine constantly. You reuse Anakin all the time, as much as I love him. You bring back Maul whenever you feel like. You bring back Boba Fett constantly. You bring back whoever you need to, depending on what your plot needs. And I tell you what, you move the goalposts on what your plot needs. Force Ghost can't appear in Episode 9. It breaks canon. So Qui-Gon can appear to Kenobi at the end of the Kenobi show, yes? He never learned how to physically manifest. He couldn't do it. But again, you move the goalpost depending on what you need for emotional nostalgia value. It honestly, it really winds me up. Someone make sense of this down in the comments below. And I'm speaking just from a place of pure emotion because it actually really irritates me. I remember literally, like I said at the start of this video, I remember leaving the cinema. This was my biggest complaint because I knew that they could redeem it with Finn. As much as it sucks, they can redeem it with Finn. They can redeem it with Poe. They can redeem it with Rey. But when you kill a character off, even in Star Wars, especially with the way they treated Luke, Han, and Leia, you negate a lot of that potential. And to know that they actually had it considered and they just said that they had it. They had the treasure and said, we don't want any of this. Launch. We're going to go over here now. Yeah, how's that working out for you? And not to mention, Adam Driver, again, is one of, in my opinion, the greatest performers of our time right now. You didn't cash in, and now he's probably moved on and gone to other things, and he probably has no interest in coming back unless you pay him a shit ton of cash. Whereas with that, it was just after Rise of Skywalker. You've still got him in flow. You can give him another layer to the Ben Solo character. And it's like I said while watching it, it didn't feel like Ben's arc was completed. It felt like they were just setting something up. A case in point. The fact that it was literally right after it. And the name that is attached, now I don't know much about the director, but my friends have vouched for the director. Let me just quickly find it real quick. They vouched for him and said that he is honestly one of the most underrated filmmakers out there. And that is Steven Soderbergh, I believe. To know that this geezer right here is also an underrated bit of talent, that probably lured Adam Driver to it. Adam Driver's a theater guy. He's about the art, the craft. It probably drew him in. Everything was lining up for you. Why the hell did you say no? Like I'm to any of my returning people, this is not how I wanted to make my comeback properly in terms of videos. But we're here. If you've been here for any stretch of time, you know that Ben Solo is my favorite character in the sequels. Not that it's saying much, but he is a big key reason why I still go back to him, just because his arc is fascinating to watch. But it felt like while watching it, they were just like, hey, do you remember when Darth Vader did that thing? You know, it's like, come on. And I'm not even going to get into the treatment of Finn. That if you've seen Attack the Block and you've seen John Boyega as Moses, I tell you what, it's more annoying. It's more annoying. You think it's annoying how they treated Finn? Watch Attack the Block, then go watch the sequels. Trust me, it's way worse. But yeah, I'm really hoping that this movie actually does find a way to resurface. Like, if this is genuinely, now that I'm not crashing out as much, if this is one of those things where they put this out there to gauge fan reaction, make noise. Make noise. Let them know. Because I tell you what, I'd go see this. Purely because even if they fuck it up, it's their own character. It's not like it's George Lucas's character. It's their own one. And it's arguably the strongest one they've got. Like, obviously, you can make a case for Cassian Andor as well. I really loved Andor. Great show. Really solid work by Diego Luna. Mon Mothma's character arc, and that was incredible. I cannot recommend Andor enough. It is a slow burn, but the show that no one expected anything from, even myself, it's arguably, it's not even arguably, it is the best Star Wars show. It's the best. Nothing touches it. Mandalorian season 1 comes close, but falls short. Book of Boba Fett, nah. Kenobi, nah. Ahsoka, nah. Like, you know, they've got their draws as a fan, but in terms of the quality of writing and the themes and just the directing approach and the style, it's so beautiful. It's got that indie filmmaking grain to it that I freaking love. Those minerals that really elevate it leaps and bounds above the other projects, you know? Obviously, look, if you enjoy those shows, you enjoy them. I do. I'm a fan too. I don't want to be toxic or ever spread negativity. But when you see stuff like this, it really boils my piss. That rhymed. And I feel like something that I really complained a lot about when leaving the cinema was this, and to know that it was in consideration and they said no, it actually really irritates me. It really does. This one really takes the cake. And the thing is, Adam Driver is such the fact that he says it's one of the coolest scripts to have ever been a part of means this movie was gas. So I'm hoping that some point or another they go, you know what? Let's put this movie back out there, because Jesus Christ, I'd love to see it, and I know the Star Wars fandom most likely would. I think we can all agree, regardless of what everyone's thoughts are in the sequels, Ben Solo is the one character that people glom onto for the reasons I've listed. It's not because there's a high bar. It's just because he's the only one who's consistent. Man. Just when you think you've heard it all, eh? Well, anyway, if it's your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, jump in the comment section down below and let me know if you agree with anything I've said. If you haven't, that's cool too. If you're new here, then hey, feel free to engage in conversation. I'm just really passionate about this because I've been a Star Wars fan since I was a kid, and I have a strong affinity for the OG6, right? Oh, but everything's canon. The OG6, right? And then the extended Disney lore, I still have an affinity for, because I went to see it with my family, or I got to see a new story, or I got to embrace Star Wars in the big screen for the first time, or I got to really feel that hype that people felt when The Phantom Menace was coming out, or even Revenge of the Sith. As much as I was around, I didn't really get to immerse in it as much because I was a kid. Whereas when you're a bit older, you're like, okay, I'm present. You're aware of how big this event is, and Force Awakens was fucking huge, and I will never forget seeing that trailer. And for guys like me to see John Boyega freaking wielding a lightsaber in that trailer, I was just like, man, if he can make it, anyone can make it. Like, he really set a precedent that you can go for it. And it's not to say that no other actor is that way, but if you know John Boyega's story, his background and what he had to face and the adversity, it's inspiring, and to know that he plays a character that runs around screaming "Way!" Every 2 seconds. It's a bit yeah. And the inconsistency with Rey, and and all the actors, they did such a good job with what they were given. But I just feel like with Ben Solo's character and Adam Driver, he just managed to elevate it that much more. And it's just a testament to him. It really is. And because of just him as Ben Solo, as soon as I heard he was in Marriage Story, a thing I've never heard anything about, I watched it and I was like, man, he is genuinely fucking class. And I was like, I want to see him in more stuff. To know that you had a front runner, a lead, and you did nothing. Yeah. The sequel trilogy needs redeeming massively. I want to just quickly debunk this theory out there that it's going to be like the prequels where it gains more popularity over time. I disagree. The difference here is the prequels had good world building, good story. Just the movies had bad film choices, i.e. dialogue, i.e. a weak performance here or there, or whatever else. But the story is 10 out of 10. The sequels have the inverse. They have great performances and great actors, but the story's all over the place. The characters are a mess. They're inconsistent. So they're not going to have the prequel effect. Whereas if you do a movie like this, or you do an episode 10 and you bring the gang back together and you tell a new story, we need to get rid of X-Wings. Like, something different. It's Star Wars. Use your imagination. Go all in and do something new. And don't bring Palpatine back, for God's sake. Use your imagination. Do something fresh. You can redeem the sequel trilogy. It's not hard. You just got to have the right minds at the helm, the right vision, and the right story to tell, and the passion for it. And it's what Shia LaBeouf said about Revenge of the Fallen. You're not making a good movie to make a good movie. You're making a movie to hit a date. Or you're making a movie to make a good movie. Yeah, it's something along those lines. You just made it so you could hit the date. You didn't want to drag it out. You should have just cut the cord and split episode 9 into 2 parts. Anyway, I'm rambling. Guys and girls, I'll see you in another video soon. This video done brought me out of my retirement. I mean, yeah.